A government that is asking the poor to tighten their belts cannot afford a bloated waistline. A reduction in the size of government will ultimately translate to a reduction in the cost of governance. By nominating 48 ministers, the president is about to set a record for the highest number of ministers since 1999. This is not the kind of record expected of a supposed reform-minded government.
Those ministers that have been chosen in the cabinet, they are not new people that have never done anything. If you look at them one by one, you'll see the good things they've done. If we support them, if we are not, criticizing every step and they don't know where to stand, if we accept them and we believe that God will work through them, He'll use them as instruments to build our nation, let's forget the past. This is a new day.
Well, several fairy tales. That is Pastor Tunde Bakare, fearless and dogged pastor come politician. And the later has been Pastor W.F. Kumuyi, a very renowned preacher of the gospel, respected globally for his steadfastness and consistency in his message. If you want to ask me, you are likely going to say, oh, this is right and this is wrong. You're wrong. Both of them are right. Why Pastor Tunde Bakare chooses to hold leadership accountable in this country, using the instrumentality of what Prophet Samuel, Prophet Nathan has done in the Old Testament to determine that leadership does the right things, Pastor W.F. Kumuyi has chosen to also do his own bidding and of course speak to us. While Pastor Tunde is speaking to power, Pastor Kumuyi is speaking to the people. And like the story of Lot, while he was in Sodom and Gomorrah, where things were happening around him, he just simply locked his door and hoped that one day things would get better. But like you remember that story, Abraham was able to intercede for Lot from far away, and God sent angels to rescue Lot and his family. Of course, you remember that Lot's wife was later consumed by unfortunate circumstances. What am I saying? Prophet Samuel in King Saul and of course in David and Prophet Nathan, remember after all he has done, they did speak to power. It was dangerous. They were prophets of God. They were preachers of the gospel. They spoke to power. But Lot would not have been able to stop what was happening in Sodom and Gomorrah. So he would rather speak to his family. That's what Pastor Kumuyi is doing. He's speaking to Christians, his immediate constituency, to hope and believe that it will get better. But you know what? When the real destruction came, he was saved. He was saved though. Use your head. I will not say it out here. I'm a Christian. I've said this every time. And I've been trained and founded in the Word of God to know what to do as it regards men of God and the institution of my faith. Pastor Kumuyi is right. Pastor Tunde Bakare is right. One has chosen to speak to power. The other one has chosen to tell us to have hope that it will get better. I say we should believe. And if you think that Pastor Kumuyi just started his life, he has been very well established in this particular realm. He has been speaking consistent message. About 11 months ago in Akure, when he went to hold a crusade, after meeting with Governor Akeredolu, met with some other traditional rulers, he said this that I'm giving to you now.
Would there not be election? Who will come out as the president of our country? Who will come out as the governor of each of the states? Known unto God are all things before the beginning of time. And what he wants, in answer to the prayer of conscientious people in our land, what he wants will come through.
Yes, well before the elections, he said that God will determine who will rule us. He did not encourage us to go for a PVC. He did not tell us to look for the character, the traits, the habit, the lifestyle, the basic fundamentals to check He said God has already, as it is in the beginning, God has ordained it. And right now, the God that chose is still telling him to tell us that we should believe whether or not they are good or bad, whether or not they are qualified or not. Good message to the people. But like the story of Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah, he was saved. Pastor Kumuyi is already saved economically. He's also saved socially. He's one of the senior citizens of this country, privileged by God and honored by men all around in various sectors and fields. Pastors, several thousands of Nigerians and several thousands of people around the world. He is saved. But Tunde Bakare, who is also saved though, has chosen to tell leadership to be upright. I'll leave you to decide what you think. Which side are you? May God help Nigeria.
Those ministers that have been chosen in the cabinet, they are not new people that have never done anything. If you look at them one by one, you'll see the good things they've done. If we support them, if we are not, criticizing every step and they don't know where to stand, if we accept them and we believe that God will work through them, He'll use them as instruments to build our nation, let's forget the past. This is a new day. And I believe, and we all believe, we're going to see new things for our country through our president and through the members of the cabinet. Good things will happen.
A government that is asking the poor to tighten their belts cannot afford a bloated waistline. A reduction in the size of government will ultimately translate to a reduction in the cost of governance. By nominating 48 ministers, the president is about to set a record for the highest number of ministers since 1999. This is not the kind of record expected of a supposed reform-minded government. In a world of cutting-edge nations, in which governance is becoming lean and agile, what does the president need 48 ministers? Or a cabinet of close to 70 persons for, other than the distribution of patronage? It is hypocritical for a government that has subjected Nigerians to untold hardship by adopting neoliberal policy prescriptions to then turn around and expand the size of government, thereby violating a core aspect of the same neoliberal principles. That, Mr. President, does not constitute genuine reforms. It is governance by political convenience. Truth be told, certain ministerial appointments and that of the current APC chairman by consensus illustrate the error that proceeds from the ruler, as stated by the preacher in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, 5-7. He reads, and I quote, "There is an evil I have seen under the sun, as an error proceeding from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, while the rich sit in a lowly place. I've seen servants on horses, while princes walk on the ground like servants." It does appear, Mr. President, that by your appointments, there's a reward for bad behavior and mediocrity in our polity.